What is up, traders? Stan Gluzman here with 7 Points Capital, bringing to you today's trader takeaways. So let's see what SPY did today. Today is a bit of a doji candle going on. It could be perceived as a doji candle on pretty low volume. We are due to a healthy pullback. Maybe in the next couple sessions we'll get a pullback down to 272 or so. Because we've been green every single day, and that's just not very healthy. Anyway, let's see what we traded today. Past few weeks, my go-to setup was just a fader setup because that's what's been working. Finding stocks that are overextended, and once they are on the backside of the move, just join the trend on the short side. And DPW has been my go-to setup, go-to stocks rather, and the VWAP projection setup just works every single day on it. So the stock is a cash cow, absolutely, absolutely, hands down a cash cow. I went into shorted pre-market. I couldn't get the fill. It dumped like 10 cents, bounced on the bounce. I was sitting on offers and just getting short. And once the market opened, I started smashing it and got a nice 20-cent move out of this. I was paying myself once it broke this level here. I started paying myself a little bit at a time, like a fifth or sixth of a position every couple cents. Scaled out, reshorted the pop, and covered in this consolidation once it started to take out the offer. I ended up going a little bit lower, cracking $2, and I actually re-entered right here. I was like, I want to, I had a little bit of a FOMO here, so I entered and I gave back a little bit of the money, but overall, really good trade. Next one was RIOT, same idea. Every time it gaps up in the morning a little bit, it usually sells off. So I was actually shorting pre-market, sitting on offers right here in the 80s and the 70s and the 60s. And then once the market opened right here, I added, and I was in the money really nicely at one point in the first dump. I was in the money like 70 cents or something really, really nicely. I actually covered a third here. I covered another third on the higher low, and then the other third I covered into the push. Unfortunately, small red trade for me, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. I left it alone after this. The third trade was Mara. Mara gapped up. Mara went up at the close yesterday and gapped up in the morning, and I started shorting pre-market and adding at the open, and I covered. I was hoping it would crack that level that has been holding. If you see on a 30-minute chart, that 370 360 level, I was waiting for it to I am waiting for it every day to crack, and it just doesn't want to crack. But once it started basing here, I took it off. I think 375 I took off, bits and pieces throughout the day, but green trade, can't complain. The last blockchain stock was OTIV, and this one, same thing. Every day it gaps up a little bit and then just collapses, and no different today. Shorted a little bit. I actually didn't really make that much money. I think I made like 2 or 3 cents. It just didn't want to go down at first, so I covered most of it break even in here, I believe, and then covered the other half in a dump. The next stock was EXPR. EXPR was a really, really interesting stock today because it gapped down a lot. It was SSR and it had a buyer. Like, it was really easy to sell the offer, sell the mids. It was really easy to short the stock and sell the longs. So I was long biased. I started watching it in here. So it would pop, come back. I bought it a little bit. It popped. I sold into the VWAP, and then here there was a massive buyer in here. He came back, bought it again, sold into the pop. The buyer came back again. in this consolidation, I bought it again and the buyer stopped. So that buyer, that one buyer, was the only guy holding up the stock. And once he went away, the stock just collapsed. So I took a small loss on my long, and then I got short here near the VWAP, and I held it. I got stopped out a little bit too early. I got stopped out, I believe, in this consolidation somewhere here. Unfortunately for me, um, the stock dropped another, what, 50 cents or so. I did join it, I believe, somewhere here. I think I caught this short and then this short, and then I tried to short it in here and it stopped me out. But overall, really nice all day fader. The next one was MYSZ. This one was due for a pullback. I mean, it went up from what, 90 cents to almost what, 350. And I was watching it today for a pullback, and that's what we got today. It gaps down. It I was actually shorting pre-market. I saw I was consolidating below VWAP and putting on lower highs. Started shorting these pops and got a bit of a position going on, but at the open it dipped and then started rallying up. And I covered everything and I went long at 240. I bought like 10,000 shares at 240, sold it at 250. Quick little scalp, made the money back, and then a little bit more. And then I started shorting it. Shorted the pop here, covered into the wash. Didn't hold it all the way down. I think I covered somewhere in here, 210s or 213s or so. And then I was watching it. I was watching it for a while until this level got long, and I didn't sell anything. Got out for break even. Um, and then once it rejected VWAP, put on a lower high, rejected this level and the VWAP, I started shorting in here, shorted and added. So in this consolidation, once it cracked this level and then retested it, this was really interesting. They were propping up the bids, so 218, 219, the bids were pretty huge, and then 220, there was nothing on the bid. There was like 100 shares on the bid. So naturally, I'm thinking, okay, this is a higher low setup, so this might go back up. So I bought 220. The stock didn't budge, so a 100 share offer absorbed, a couple thousand shares. I bought again, a couple thousand shares. It absorbed it again. So I'm thinking the bids are probably there just to scare everybody into buying, to covering their shorts and maybe getting long. And so what they really want, they want the fill on the offer. So I was like, I don't want to be long. I sold it at 219, started shorting at 219, only half position because I wasn't sure that that was the right idea. And then once 219 got taken out, it started drifting down. I added full position at 216, and then we saw a massive dump. This was like pretty clean, had a stop. My stop was above 220. It was about 222 or something like that. And then we saw a big dump, and I still didn't take anything. Right here, once it put on a higher low, the offer was really big. 185 had like 20 or 30,000 shares on the offer, and that was my stop. So about if 185 was taken out, I was gonna take out the next level. So 186, 187, I got out, and that was the biggest trade of the day. Maybe biggest trade of this month actually. I had a bit of a size. I wish I had more, but had a decent size position. The stock ended up going lower. I reshorted it on this retest and covered into this wash and left it alone. And that was the trade. Very beautiful pullback. This is exactly what I want to see on OTIV, on Mara, on RIOT, on DPW. This is what I want to see. Nice lower high setup, consolidation below VWAP, and a dump like this. Really beautiful. The next stock was SIFY. Same thing, up what 6 or 7 days in a row and due for a pullback. I started shorting right here, VWAP rejection, and I covered a little bit too early. I think I shorted in the high 60s and I covered in the low 50s. I didn't have patience to hold it all the way down. And then the last stock is OMF. This one is interesting. It's kind of consolidating right here. I didn't really want to short it because it's a financial services sector, and that one is pretty strong. So I don't really like fading this sector. But the setup was there. It was just staring at me, and I had to take a stab at it. I shorted a little bit, and I covered into one of these dips at 72 or 73, and I'm still holding a little bit overnight. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully it gaps down. But that's my day. Pretty decent day. Looking forward to trading more fader setups this week. And yeah, so you guys feel free to follow me on Twitter, Chakana Trader. I post some charts, ideas throughout the day, and stuff like that. So don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more great content, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.